The idea that DJs could be war profiteering seems maybe absurd, but unfortunately, this is a common occurrence now with the war in Ukraine and the war in Gaza, where electronic artists are attending music festivals and gigs in Russia and Israel while they are waging brutal wars of genocide against their neighbors. And before we continue, if you can help out, please donate to Reham and her family. She is a mom who's trying to reunite with her husband and rebuild their home after war. And if you can't donate, please give her videos a view. She's monetized now, so every little bit, every interaction helps. Thank you. Western DJs accused of normalizing war for playing at Russian techno events. For the Kremlin, it's important to show its own audience that Western artists are still ready to travel to Moscow and play as if nothing is going on and Russia is not isolated, pointing to the media coverage of US rapper Kanye West's recent visit to the capital. Another electronic music fest, Signal, which takes place from the 15th to the 19th of August, has bunches of Western artists going to go play at it. Quote, Russian propaganda tries to form a positive image of the country on the international stage by highlighting cultural achievements and separating them from the political situation. This is a very important point because oftentimes excuses are made by artists that the cultural scene and the political scene are totally distinct, that somehow you can be beyond politics with your art, which is an absurd position because politics is always happening whether or not you're participating or not, and the idea of being apolitical is itself a political stance. Baklanova, an Ukrainian activist from the Ukrainian music scene, is leading an online campaign for DJs and musicians to shun Russian music scenes while the war is going on, and calling on European clubs to cancel concerts involving foreign artists who played in Russia. By participating, these artists are also helping the Russian economy and contributing to the military budget. Baklanova notes that more Western DJs are attracted by what she describes as high performance fees and are willing to perform in Russia. Quote, I see a total lack of awareness, ignorance, and greed among some in the electronic scene. The perfect example of this is from Adam TM, a German DJ, who said that his criticism that he was getting against him performing in Russia was a, quote, smear campaign. I consider myself profoundly or rather trans-political person. Many years ago, I had decided to take the path of making true human connections through music. Unlike politics, which is the mode of separation, I had chosen music, which is the mode of unification. What nonsense is that? That's like the most privileged position you can imagine. I agree with Baklanova when she says you can't separate culture from politics in present-day Russia. Russia has intensified attacks on everyone. For example, earlier this month, a judge in Moscow jailed a prominent theater director and playwright for 6 years on charges of supporting and justifying terrorism, sending shockwaves across the artistic community, obviously, but also, since last year, the Kremlin decided to also make the entire LGBT movement considered a terrorist organization. It means they've also been nonstop raiding LGBTQ clubs across the country, and there has been nonstop attacks upon sexual minorities because of this declaration of them as foreign agents. Literally every person. So let's talk about this festival at the center of this story, though. Outline Festival. This is a big festival. It is backed by big backers, and this is something that is so big that it can only be done with direct approval of the central government. No major event can go ahead without direct approval from the authorities. Quoting someone in the know, they clearly reached a deal. Just look at the event sponsors. And the event sponsors are pretty wild. Outline's official partners are T-Bank and Yandex, two leading Russian companies that were once independent but have been taken control of by Kremlin influence, meaning they're now owned by buddies of Vladimir Putin. Meanwhile, the pro-Kremlin outlet Lenta serves as the festival's official media partner, so it is overtly a pro-war festival. But wait, not just that. Last year, they literally had a military recruitment tent set up near the entrance. Yeah, that's what these Western artists are going to go play at. Outline is not some underground countercultural festival that is openly against the war, Baklanova says. The foreign DJs participating are sending the wrong signal to all the anti-war Russian artists who are in jail or unable to return or perform in Russia. And let's take a look at who's sponsoring and the many, many Western artists playing at this event. Here's old Adam TM with his trans political views. Oh look, icon of Detroit, Magda, playing in Russia at the Outline Festival. How lovely. And there's honestly so many of them. We have Daniel Bell, we have Mick Willis, we have Sacha Mambo, Cabana, Black Moon 77, Zebelin. It's really ridiculous to think about all these guys, war profiteers. This is war profiteering, guys. This is what it is in the 21st century. So to wrap up, we need to be very critical of our cultural figures, where they're going, what they're willing to do, because they are used to justify some of the worst atrocities. And oftentimes, they are actively participating through greed and the easy money that comes from getting really, really sweet deals to go out to Russia, go play a gig. It's just normal. Don't think about the fact that you have literal war recruiting going on at the front of the festival, guys. Don't think about it, and it isn't there. See, that isn't right. And I think we need to do better, and we need to expect better. Thank you.